Welcome back to Public Affairs on Peach. We are talking today about domestic violence. Cases like Adina Parsons, a jury convicted her husband of shooting her 8 times. She was partially paralyzed and lost an eye. Her husband, Michael, said he was innocent. Prosecutors say he shot his wife so he could marry his mistress. That woman testified at his trial.
I am speaking to this courtroom today with a heavy guilt in my heart because I was able to walk to this podium today. I am able to speak clearly to anyone who will hear me. It seems cruel to speak of my pain when Adina cannot.
Michael Parsons' mother said he was not the monster he was portrayed to be. Our guest now is Sheena Morris, Director of Public Policy and Community Engagement for the Georgia Coalition Against Domestic Violence. Sheena, thanks for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
So when we look at the prevalency of domestic violence in our society, the numbers are certainly frightening. Is this something that we're seeing as a growing trend?
I wouldn't necessarily say that it's a growing trend. I think that because there is more information that is now out about the issue, people are more prone to speak up and speak out, reach out for assistance. So there are staggering statistics that exist for Georgia. 1 in 4 women, of course, as we know, will be victimized by domestic violence, as well as 1 in 7 men. Georgia currently ranks 8th in the nation for the rate at which men murder women. And then along with that as well in Georgia, African-American women are dying at a rate that is higher than that of the population that exists here.
Hard to believe those numbers too. And you mentioned something as well. It's not just women who can be victims of domestic violence,
Right.
but men as well.
Right.
And you help those men too.
Absolutely. Our organizations throughout the state of Georgia offer the same services and programming to men as well as women as well as children. So collectively responding to the issue of domestic violence and trying to assist survivors.
What are some of the red flags that people should look out for? I think we all have that sense of, you know, when the hair kind of stands up on the back of your neck, that sense of something is not right. What should people look out for?
Well, we can always look for behaviors such as the person's partner being very controlling, potentially isolating their partner from family and friends. You know, a lot of times people typically focus on the physical dynamics of domestic violence, but we also have to understand that there are psychological red flags, verbal abuse. There are a number of red flags that people can pay attention to.
What about, say, for a family member, say, you know, a mom or a sibling or someone may say there's something not right about that person.
Absolutely.
What should they say to, you know, someone who could be in a relationship like that, that's abusive or controlling?
Well, they would want to be as supportive as possible. Always be supportive. Try to not judge. We at the Georgia Coalition Against Domestic Violence actually have materials which can be accessed on our website, www.gcadv.org. Some information about how family and friends can have those types of conversations and how they can, to some extent, intervene.
And we've heard a lot about, you know, Stockholm syndrome. Some people used to the violence, you know, that they kind of stay in the relationship. They are aware of what's happening, but stay there out of what? Security reasons? Any number of reasons?
There are a number of reasons why survivors remain in abusive relationships. Domestic violence is the leading cause of homelessness in our country. So you can imagine someone who is in an abusive relationship, not necessarily, they may remain in the relationship because they don't necessarily want to become homeless. They may have children that are involved. They may be financially dependent on this person. There are a magnitude of reasons why a survivor may stay in a relationship.
Yeah, rather stay in that situation as opposed to living on the streets. Now, you know, for the services that you offer, what can you tell survivors about as a place to come to, you know, a refuge basically for them? What kind of services do you provide?
Our organization does not provide direct services. We are more of a member-based organization, so our organization supports the advocacy efforts of the domestic violence programs throughout the state of Georgia. Now, those organizations provide things. They do provide shelter, they provide counseling, they provide assistance such as rental assistance, gas assistance in the metro area. There are a number of them that can provide MARTA assistance. So the domestic violence organizations throughout the state provide an array of supportive services. It's not just shelter. They have a magnitude of things that they can assist survivors with.
And if people need help, there is a 1-800 hotline number they can call. Share that with our viewers.
Absolutely. The 1-800 number is 1-800-33-HAVEN. Again, that's 1-800-33-HAVEN.
Yeah, easy enough. Sheena Morris, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, when Public Affairs on Peach returns, a law enforcement view of domestic violence, including what can be done if a victim doesn't want to cooperate.